Live now.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay. There we go. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I switched from headphones because my battery.
Okay.
Okay. So well, I just heard let's not forget we're all here because of Jesus. And he makes this possible. He arranges space and time so that we can come to these holy light circles and fellowship or commune with our beloved mighty companions. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and start by focusing on the light within. And today's desire that we are looking at is the desire for specialness.
Yeah, that's perfect because I heard that a couple times over the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first, let's just start by admitting we have a desire for something that is not peace. Desire for an experience that is not peace. And ask Jesus, what miracles would you have us perform? And joining with the Holy Spirit, let's just focus on the light and ask Jesus to help us get in touch with the desire to relish in the experience of wanting specialness. Desire for the experience of specialness. Let's just say, Jesus, help us get in touch with the relishing of this.
Yeah, it's like seeking for peace through specialness.
What I'm hearing is once I feel special enough, then I'll surrender to God. And then the ego tries to find ways to supplement that feeling of specialness through the belief in sin, through the belief in guilt. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing, specialness is an error of thought.
Yeah.
Because I was hearing, see no error. Specialness is an error of thought. And then I can look at how I really want the error of thought.
Yeah.
Over the peace of God.
yeah, I really want to keep that. The word that comes to mind is drama party going.
Yeah, it's like a party, a
Mhm.
special event. Yeah. Like to distract from looking really and staying focused.
Yeah, it does it through some sort of activity. And it's not a fun activity either. It's like an unfun activity.
Mm. Yeah.
Like there's a
Yeah, go
what?
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, there's a fun activity of going for a walk and just effortlessly noticing the beauty. And then there's the unfun activity of the ego's grasping and reaching and
Yeah, that was a good reminder this morning for the about the efforting. Efforting is suffering, and specialness is definitely
oh yeah, that was a good one.
okay.
From 277.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, what was the lesson?
Oh, it was let me not
Let me not bind your son with laws I made.
yeah. So the way I saw this specialness glitch is the word that comes to mind, relates to the film is I mean, Max Lord had such a like a lust or an insatiable desire to give more, that he was willing to become the object of desire.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
of course consumed him
Yes.
with ego. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good seeing that symbol play out of us associating with the moving and the changing object, and how um, love could be found through that, the objective experience.
Yeah. And good to notice that at its root is that desire to be seen as special. What's interesting is that he actually ended up not getting that.
Yeah. All powerful. Yeah.
Back to the unfun ego script of being like almost a host for a cancer or something like that. It's like a yeah. Just like what was in the lesson, effort. Whenever there's effort, then that is not, that's like a attempt to kill the light out of existence.
Yeah, it takes effort.
Yeah.
Desire takes effort.
Okay, so let's go back to the original desire, desire for specialness. I would just add the desire for specialness that I tell myself a story I can't escape.
Yeah, you did. I don't know if you mentioned that when we were recording, but you mentioned it being insatiable.
Yeah.
Or intractable.
Intractability. Insatiable. Yeah, it has a insurmountable quality to it, or it feels like it does.
Yeah, we could sit with that.
Yeah, the feeling comes up, you're doomed, so you might as well just succumb to it. It's the resistance is futile, but it's on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, that's why it's so beautiful to have movies where you see like that insatiableness playing out, like to where it's just an extreme ridiculous degree, to like, wow, that's insane, or that's, yeah.
Well, it's great because it makes the ego like come out of its little hidey hole and say, well, I would never do that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wait, but who said that? Like, that's a judgment, that's a comparison. So that's it's like we're doing the same thing, but the ego is claiming that we're not. And
yeah, in the movie too, I noticed that it was like helpful to see like the main character, the hero. She, Wonder Woman was like the good girl, the good guy, and then Max Lord was the bad guy. But you could see how that play, the desire for more, was showing up for both of them, and it just looked different. And one supposedly was the good character and one was the bad character, and so it was like really beautiful to see that, where so was there any like desire to really, what I was looking at, was there any desire to like take a side, or see him as bad and her as good, or
I really found in that movie there was less of that, because he had an understandable, relatable humanity, like it was like, oh, I just want to make things better for people, but that's just a surface desire. And then even Wonder Woman's character, she cheated at that during that race, going to the tunnel, and that was added to her humanity as well. So whenever you have the humanity or innocence, I guess we could say, it adds to their lovability or likability as characters. Even Barbara's character, although a little bit harder to see, I would say, when it comes to people in the movie, that she almost seems like the most bad, hardest to see the goodness or innocence in.
Yeah. And what we've been doing with the movies is just seeing where the characters are in guidance and when they're not, and how that looks.
Yeah.
It doesn't always, it can be surprising at when a character is in guidance, and it may look different, for one of the other characters. The same, very similar thing could be in guidance for one character and not in the other. So
I feel like this relates to that specialness thing too, because where the comparison comes in for me is like looking out into the world. Sometimes Holy Spirit will show me a person, maybe a famous person or something like that, and then I will think, how did they get away with doing that? How, like, what makes them so special that they would get away with doing that? But we look closer and you'll see that nobody gets away with anything. That's totally an illusion. So I mean, we could even ask Jesus, do we believe that some people get away with things and other people don't? Yeah, the ego does.
And
the ego believes that.
Yeah, it's not the same for everyone, that it's a
they're
choice.
Privileged, they're special.
Yeah.
They get away with that, but I don't, because I'm not special. And yeah, it's an ego story for sure.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. I've looked at also kind of related with this desire is haves and have-nots, and how that plays out as well in relation to the desire for specialness. It's just that some are special and some aren't, and so it's like have-nots kind of.
Yeah. In fact, I remember a couple of years back, there was a book that came through me, Ask Jesus, and in it, one of the later chapters, I said, well, what about the, Kardashians? And he said, well, if you could see through the eyes of any of these people, you would recognize that they struggle with the same issues that the ego does than anybody else. So they're just one ego.
Yeah.
Or how Byron Katie says that she's traveled all around the world listening to people's stories, and it's always the same. It's always the same, same stories.
Yeah. And it always comes back to desire. It always comes back to desire, that every experience we have is desired. And that's why this is so powerful, to just keep coming back to the desires and really just focus on those and see like how badly we want some of these desires, and we hide them from ourselves. So
yeah, it seems like specialness is very body related. This body's special, this body isn't. It's very separation promoting.
The form, very very focused on the form, and
hyper focused.
Comparison.
I heard that it's about believing that the desirable is something that we would actually want. What the ego believes it desires is actually what we want to let go of.
That's like power can be found through specialness. There's some like, it's just this confusion of,
it's like intoxicating. That's what it is.
Yes, I'm addicted to consciousness. Not so anonymous now.
right? Not so special either.
No, no, no.
Well, I'm reminded of that course passage. God cannot give you your specialness, and at this moment, it just makes so much more sense because
Yeah,
we all appear to be addicted to this story of consciousness. Yeah.
yeah. And that we can all hear Jesus. There's no.
Yeah.
He's kind of,
Nobody's.
he's
Yeah.
really helping us see that that we are Jesus, that he speaks through our brother to us,
Mm-hmm.
and that we can be in a dialogue with him about
Mm-hmm.
everything all the
Yeah.
time. So then we just look at where we don't want to. It's like, no, no. But it feels very light, and it feels like this is release. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of, I don't know if you're hearing if there's any holding or anything more.
It feels like release.
With that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's,
make sure that we stay focused on the desire.
yeah, there's such a willingness to stay in the relishing. That's why it feels like a relief.
Yeah.
I think because we've seen this one for a long time, and we're like, okay, Jesus, I give up. I don't have, I can't do this. I don't know how to undo this.
Yeah. And
there's like a joy.
Miracles aren't special. Miracles are
no.
There's no specialness in the light or in the miracle. It's maximal. It's for everyone. Yeah. So. Yeah, and we just and we're going empty-handed to God and saying, okay.
Yeah.
And maybe want to reconsider some of these desires, if they're really going to get me what I think, what I think they're
well, what I notice is the ego has this attraction to death.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I get wrapped up in it. And what I'm hearing is, once again, what Jesus says, ask me, turn to the light quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could mention the miracle worksheet. That's available to go through that. And that's the number one, or one of the top things, is Jesus's invitation to join quickly, and also to join. Keep joining. Keep joining. And look at every desire. Leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, the willingness, just the little willingness to do that makes it so much gentler.
Mm-hmm.
We think, oh, this is going to be, and then it isn't. It's, I mean, it's been what, 2 years now of being more dedicated to looking, and it's always a surprise how, that's what was being hidden.
Yeah. The sometimes it can go from like feeling intractable and impossible to nothing in like in a moment. And there's other times that there's that holding, so.
Yeah, I think as we realize that effort doesn't get it there, and it's not about time either, then it starts to do the quick unraveling, because we're really giving it to him. We're saying, Jesus, here's a ball of yarn. I don't know how to untangle it. Well, just you go ahead and do that. Here's the Rubik's Cube with 1 billion, little parts and pieces. Yeah, we just don't have the wherewithal. Like that infinite intelligence can just there's oneness, one-mindedness is the truth.
Yeah, it's like what I hear is like shining on. It's shining on the the idea I have of myself. This idea I have of myself, it's do I want to see what I denied because it's the truth, the last unanswered question, and we just keep coming back to that. And
was it let me not see myself as limited? Wasn't that a course lesson? Yeah, so whenever we're in specialness, we're back in limitation. That's something definitely worth noticing. And another incentive to return quickly to the light. It's like, oh, I'm in limitation again. Why would I want to be in limitation? What for? What is it for? What's the purpose of that?
Yeah.
The only rationale I can hear is that, well, suffering brings me back to the present moment. Nonsense. Just return to the present moment. You don't need the suffering.
Yeah. That's a strong idea.
It is.
Seemingly, it's like that we have to suffer to see the light, that we have to suffer to see who we are as the light. And we're starting to see that that's not the case. It's through joining that we see that we're to come together in his name and just see that the light is here.
Yeah, we start to see that it's like a little piece of rice paper that you could stick like a toothpick through without any effort whatsoever. Because
he gives us just exactly what we need to see, whatever that, however.
It is almost like a mirror. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Annihilation. That is a great one. But there's that mirror scene. And I was just thinking what it's kind of like is if you took that toothpick and there's that little piece of rice paper and you moved it ever so slowly, like almost slower than time, it just goes right through it. But if you go like this, it goes bong, like it's a adamantium or like a steel wall. And that seems to be how it works.
I've heard Kay kind of when she's describing pinging off of something. It's like going to look and then boing, like pinging off of it,
So there's one thing I'm seeing here, since we have a little bit of time.
Sure.
It's about using ACIM or accumulating ACIM or related material, so spiritual material, as a way to feel a sense of specialness. And in my experience, that doesn't work either.
Oh yeah, I've also kind of been in that play of
But it does bring one closer because the focus is on thoughts of God, thoughts of the light. So I would say that in any moment where the light is forgotten, if the attention is placed on ACIM, you're quickly back to the light. It's like if it's being taken in as written, not interpreted.
That can be like
like a bridge.
such a contrast, between those to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like excruciating. And then to see how I love that excruciatingness of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I
I've
love this.
I've found that an easy way to getting kind of a balance or a healthy medium is to, well, today I was listening to lesson 277,
yeah.
and I just took notes on key sections. So
Mhm.
there my attention is focused, but it's not obsessive.
Yeah.
And that felt good. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Jesus is directing me to take some notes so that
Mhm.
my attention stays
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's one of the ways to move towards the material, but not in a way that creates a sense of spiritual specialness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll notice, like, with the descriptions on Facebook, and yeah, we're doing them on Facebook and YouTube for the center. They have quotes taken from the session,
Mm-hmm.
and also the desires. So you can list desires that pop out
Oh yeah,
that
I love
tells you
those.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we encourage everyone to comment too on the Facebook,
Nice.
commenting on our posts, and so that
Yeah.
kind of extends the posts on Facebook as well.
Yeah, I didn't
So,
even mean to, but today I accidentally pressed enter after I finished
oh,
taking notes.
yeah,
And I just left it. I was like, well,
yeah,
there's some notes there. It's just exactly what Kay said anyway. So
yeah, good.
some people,
Yeah.
I notice their mind drifts and they go wandering. So at least then their attention will go to wandering on the content and not,
Yes.
onto other videos of unrelated material, especially if someone's focus is, wanting to be stayed on the light and the
Yeah.
new covenant. So
I've seen how he's using social media to undo that whole thing with social
yeah,
media. It's like,
yeah.
whoa, okay. Because with his direction on social media, it's fresh, and there's no like it's just not this that same approach,
Yeah.
where it's like a more of a horizontal and a getting kind of approach,
Hmm.
intaking media. And this is like seeing where the triggers are, where the
Yeah, because
switches
he
are.
will bring the attention to
Yeah.
something that seems unrelated, and I'll be reading through it and I'll go, oh whoa, I have this belief. I want to
Yes.
feel special in this way.
Yeah.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
And then
And we
he
have the Light Brigade group too, where that's a good place to share what you're hearing from Jesus. You can share it in a post. I believe we have it set up to where Mary approves it, but that's another way to share, like, notes or what you've been hearing, in that conversation, that dialogue. It's really, really about being in a dialogue with Jesus. So
yeah.
Holy Spirit.
um there
And
was
then
oh, I had mentioned that I watched the film The Greatest Showman the other night, and I also, for anyone watching, recommend that film because
yeah.
it really gets into that desire for specialness too. And kind of is that movie is like the equivalent of like the collapse of time, because it goes from being I want to be special to, oh, there's a lot of pitfalls in that, to let's just return to the beauty of the now and this ordinary experience, and through the symbolism of watching it with the Holy Spirit, it's like a return to the light. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that one?
Yeah. It's been a little while. It's been a little while, so maybe it'll come in again, because Yeah, it's a musical, and Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman, and I'm sure I don't know all the cast, but I just remember it being very, very beautiful movie. So
Yeah.
really inspiring, really inspiring.
Yeah. It's a good
Yeah,
one. So
yeah.
how about we just return to it just to see if even there's a little, sliver of,
Are there any squeaks left?
yeah,
Make it squeaky clean.
of,
And what we're going to do this week is we're just going to be in prayer on a desire, and then we can share it beforehand in our messenger group, and then we can yeah, we'll just pray on it beforehand a little while.
cool.
So
Nice.
yeah,
Um,
we won't be doing movies, and we haven't, I guess they're not quite ready to start the 45 days, or is it 45 days with Jesus? That's
mhm.
going to come in at some point, but it's not quite ready yet.
Hmm.
So we're just going to kind of go back to what we were doing before, where we just we share what we're hearing as a desire to look at, and then we look at that.
I've really found that to be the most effective, probably because there's more silence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's like a full of life silence too. It's yeah.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
Oh, just the morning light circles, and um, just how many desires can come out of one lesson. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
and then,
Oh wow.
but he's so specific. He's like, okay, and then I find that like my mighty companions will just say things, and it's like, whoa, I like totally. He was showing me that, like, and then sometimes it's like, oh, he was showing me that, and I wasn't listening, so I need to hear it again, and so it's coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You know what I heard him say? He said, here's an incentive. The more the less specialness, the more joy. So we can
yeah.
just recognize that the less
Mhm.
specialness there is, the more joy there will be.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes.
That's such a gentle
That's
pointing.
a miracle.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
felt like the miracle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Feels very right.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah. Are we
you
about 40?
for yep.
Are we about 40? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Have a good one. Love and
Alrighty.
blessings. Namaste.
See, we'll see you mañana. Hasta
Yay.
mañana. Bye.